Today's story is one you don't want to miss. Flight attendant humiliates black traveler, not knowing he's a pastor with global influence. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? I love seeing how far these stories travel. And if you haven't already, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss tomorrow's story. Trust me, it's going to be even more powerful. Terminal C pulsed with last flight impatience. Suitcases thudded, coffee steamed, announcements cracked like small thunder. Ebenezer Cole stood near the stanchions with a leather carry-on and a weathered Bible. Charcoal suit, steady eyes, unhurried breath. He looked like another weary traveler, not a man whose passport held ink from villages, capitals, and disaster zones. Group B, now boarding, the agent called. A boy clipped Ebenezer's knee with a toy robot. Ebenezer steadied him. "Heroic machine," he said. The boy grinned and ran to his mother. Ebenezer glanced at a text. Meeting with health leaders confirmed. Bring mercy and clarity, then pocketed his phone and joined the line. At the aircraft door, a flight attendant held position like a checkpoint. Her name tag read, "Maria." "Bag in the sizer," she said, voice flat from a long day. "It fits overhead," Ebenezer answered. "Warm." "Sizer," she repeated, pointing. He set the bag in the frame. It slipped in neat, no struggle. Maria's mouth tightened anyway. "Remove the book, all items separate." He lifted the Bible an inch. "It's not inside the bag." "Step aside," she said, slicing the air with 2 fingers. Passengers cramped and craned. A man in a ball cap sighed loudly. A silver-braided woman behind Ebenezer folded her arms. Inside the cabin, a younger attendant, Dylan, looked uneasy. Ebenezer unzipped his carry-on without complaint. A folded blazer, a pen pouch, a toothbrush, a sealed packet of sanitary pads. He set the packet on the suitcase. "Snickers." Maria's eyebrow arched. "For a shelter," Ebenezer said. "Are you economy basic?" she asked. "Basic has no overhead access." He passed his boarding pass. 14C standard. She returned it. "Keep that book in your hands until seated. If I see it in the bin, your bag goes below." The order hushed the line. Ebenezer nodded once. Understood. He stepped aboard, stowed the bag in row 14's bin, kept the Bible in his hand and eased into the middle seat. The window passenger, a tall man, nodded. "Rough start?" "Only long," Ebenezer said. Maria patrolled. She stopped beside him. "Sir, hold the book." He held it where she could see. Phones angled subtly. The cabin was becoming a small stage. The safety video bloomed on screens. The captain came on. Light chopped through 10,000, smooth afterward. Pushback rumbled. Engines rose like wind pressed under floorboards. Ebenezer let his breath settle. He didn't pray out loud. He didn't need to. Takeoff pinned spines a moment, then released them into cloud. City lights stitched the dark below. Carts rattled awake. Row 20 requested ginger ale like a choir. The chop arrived early, sharp, insistent. Cup rims trembled. A lipstick rolled and vanished under a seat. Maria braced in the galley. "Please take your seats," she called. Dylan locked the cart. An elderly man rose near the lavatory, urgent and pale. "Sir, sit down," Maria shouted, but the aircraft dipped and her command skittered away. Ebenezer unbuckled during a half-second of level air. He reached the man, slipped an arm under his elbow, and guided him to the jump seat. The plane shivered again. The man would have fallen but didn't. "Breathe with me," Ebenezer said, voice steady. "In, out." Color returned to the man's face. Maria stared, expression caught between rebuke and relief. She grabbed the interphone. Dylan shot Ebenezer a grateful look. The bumps smoothed as quickly as they had built. The captain returned, apologizing for a wandering jet stream. Relief softened the rows. Ebenezer buckled in. Maria strode back, authority gathered. "Sir, you left your seat with the sign on. That endangers everyone." "I saw someone about to fall," he said. "I kept him from falling. Our procedures exist for a reason." "They were served," the silver-braided woman said across the aisle. "He did what needed doing." A small current of agreement moved through the row. Maria's jaw set. "Keep the book in your hands," she said again, and moved on. The cart resumed. Ice clicked against plastic. The tall man at the window glanced at the Bible. "I'm Marcus. You a minister?" "A traveler," Ebenezer answered. Neither yes nor no. A baby cried, and then quieted, fascinated by the glint of Ebenezer's watch when he waved. The mother mouthed thanks. Quiet returned. Page turns, thumb swipes, air whispering along aluminum. Every few minutes, Maria's gaze snagged on row 14, as if something there wrestled with a story she believed about the world. Descent began early. The captain warned of crosswinds. Flaps groaned open. The wing trembled like a bird thinking through its landing. Then, a hard jolt. An overhead bin popped. A backpack slid out and hung by its zipper above a passenger's head. Maria lunged. Marcus reached. Ebenezer steadied the bag with one hand and nudged it back into the bin with the other. Movement small, sure, minimal. Got it, he said, voice calm. Wheels kissed runway. The cabin applauded, unembarrassed. Engines exhaled. Seatbelts snapped open in a cheerful chain. Overheads yawned. Maria appeared beside row 14 again, closer this time. Thank you, she said, quiet and quick, for assisting earlier. You're welcome, he replied. She squared her shoulders, the professional mask sliding back. Please deplane promptly. Tight turnaround. He stood, retrieved his bag, and stepped into the aisle. The silver-braided woman lightly touched his elbow. Bless you, she murmured, whatever your work is. He smiled. And you. They reached the door. Night air flowed in. Cool, salted. Maria stood at the threshold, scanning for the next problem to solve. For an instant her eyes met his. Something flickered. Annoyance. Curiosity. A thin spark that didn't decide. She looked away first. The jet bridge filled with footsteps and the hush of rolling wheels. Lights pooled on the terminal's polished floor. Voices layered and blurred. Somewhere behind him, a phone chimed. Ahead, the concourse opened like a river. Ebenezer shifted the Bible in his palm and walked into the hum, steady as a metronome, while glances drifted to row 14 as if waiting for the next note. Baggage claim sounded like marbles in a steel drum. Carousel 6 coughed out suitcases, sliding them along the black belt in impatient arcs. Ebenezer stood back from the scrum, watching tags spin past, red ribbons, taped corners, names written in Sharpie. He wore the same calm that annoyed hurried people. He watched, then stepped forward at the right moment and lifted his bag without touching anyone's toes. A cluster formed near the exit where rideshares met family reunions. Over it, a television looped weather maps and headlines. Marcus, the window seat neighbor, threaded through the crowd with a smile broad enough for billboards. There you are, he said. I thought you'd vanish like smoke in wind. Present and accounted for, Ebenezer replied. Let me give you a lift. I live 10 minutes from here, Marcus said. You helped with that bin. It's a debt. No debt, Ebenezer answered. Only neighborliness. But I'll accept the ride. They walked toward the escalators. A child rode the rubber rail like a surfboard until his mother hauled him by the collar. Ebenezer grinned. At the bottom, a security officer guided people around an unattended duffel. The officer's tone was practiced calm. His eyes were alert. Hotel or friend? Marcus asked. Neither. An early meeting at the Civic Center, Ebenezer said. City work, health work. They passed sliding doors that opened with a breeze like a sigh. Night smelled of ocean and hot breaks. The rideshare lot flashed with hazard lights. A white sedan nosed up, then stopped too soon. The driver raised both hands in apology. A horn answered, indignant. Welcome back to Earth, Marcus said. They walked to a dark blue SUV. Marcus unlocked it with a chirp. Throw your bag anywhere, he said. As they settled in, the radio announced traffic on the bridge and a caller complaining about airline manners. Marcus snorted. Timely. They rolled out of the lot. Neon washed across the windshield. I teach high school, Marcus said. Economics. My students think compounding interest is a myth. It is magic that works, Ebenezer said. Exactly. You'd like the class. You have that look, patient, certain. Marcus hesitated. Are you a pastor? I serve, Ebenezer said. Not coy, simply incomplete. Before Marcus could press, a figure stepped from between parked cars and waved both arms. Yellow vest. Airfield badge. Maria. She reached the driver's side window and tapped twice. Marcus lowered it. Sir, I'm sorry, she said, breath sharp from the run. Did you happen to see a black leather folio on the plane? Row 14. It holds crew evaluations and a duty roster. Row 14, Marcus said, glancing at Ebenezer. We sat there. I didn't notice. Her eyes moved to Ebenezer, then snagged on the Bible he still carried. Recognition flashed like static. She stiffened, recovering the posture. Sir, she said carefully, did you take any item from the seat back pocket that's not yours? No, he said. I removed a magazine to help the elderly man breathe easier. I replaced it. She swallowed, shame hot behind her eyes, then cooled it. If you see the folio in your bag by mistake, please bring it to the station. My name is Maria Caldera. She turned to go, then pivoted back, words arriving before permission. Also, she stopped herself. Drive safe. Marcus watched her speed away, vest bright under lamps. She's the attendant, he said. The one with the book thing. The one doing her job under a long day, Ebenezer said. They merged into traffic. The city rose ahead, lit by windows and opportunity. A siren flared behind them. One guttural yelp, then silence. Marcus checked his mirror. I hate that sound, he admitted. An instinct from nothing good. The SUV's hands-free system pinged. Incoming call. Unknown. Answer, Marcus said. The car obeyed. Mr. Cole? A woman's voice, professional, quick. This is Renee from the mayor's office. We're confirmed for 8 a.m. Conference room 3. Your slides? No slides, Ebenezer said. Stories, numbers, and a map. Copy, Renee said. Coffee preferences. Whatever wakes compassion, he said. There was a pause, then a laugh she didn't mean to let out. We'll see what the caterer has for that. Good night. The line clicked. Marcus chuckled. No slides. You're a dangerous man. Only to boredom. They crossed the bridge. The bay lay black and speckled as pepper. On the far side, a hostel with murals loomed like a ship. Marcus swung to the curb. The Civic Center is 5 blocks, he said. You can walk. It's the good kind of dark. Ebenezer unbuckled. Thank you. You're a quiet kind of interesting, Marcus said. Come speak to my class sometime. We can pay in gratitude and cafeteria cookies. I may take you up on both. Ebenezer stepped onto the sidewalk and breathed the city's particular mix of exhaust, jasmine, and memory. He adjusted his bag and walked. The hostel street murmured with skateboard wheels and the hiss of a bus. A woman cussed softly at a vending machine that kept her change. Ebenezer fed the machine $1. It spit out ginger ale as if obeying a higher court. The woman laughed. Preacher magic, she said. Mechanical humility, he answered, and kept walking. Halfway to the Civic Center, voices rose from a park. A small cluster circled a bench where a man lay curled, shaking. A dog barked sharp and afraid. A bicycle wheel spun uselessly in the grass. Call someone, a teenager said, panic running ahead of her age. Ebenezer handed his bag to a stranger without questioning himself. He crouched beside the man. I'm Ebenezer, he said. I'm going to help you. The man's breath sawed. His pupils skittered. The Civic Center's courtyard smelled faintly of damp stone and streetlights buzzing with moths. Maria stopped 2 paces from Ebenezer, her jacket zipped tight as if it were armor. The confidence she'd wielded on the plane was thinner now, but her eyes still carried a fight. I shouldn't be here, she began, voice lower than before. Crew isn't supposed to follow passengers, but something about earlier. She stopped herself, shaking her head. I don't know. I needed to ask. Ebenezer shifted his bag on his shoulder. Ask, then. Her lips tightened. Why didn't you argue? When I told you to hold the book, to stand aside, anyone else would have snapped. You just obeyed. I wasn't obeying you, he said calmly. I was choosing peace. That's not normal, she muttered. Not in airports. Not in this city. A siren whined 3 blocks away, fading. The night pressed close, carrying fragments of music from a bar around the corner. Maria hugged herself as if holding in questions. You're not just another traveler, are you? Before Ebenezer could answer, a shout burst from the shadows near the Civic Center steps. Hey, get away from her. 2 young men strode out, hoodies half-sipped, sneakers loud against the pavement. One pointed at Maria. You okay? This guy bothering you? Maria froze, caught between denial and defense. No, he's not. The taller one stepped closer, chin lifted. Sir, hands where I can see them. His voice mimicked authority but lacked its weight. Ebenezer didn't flinch. He simply placed the Bible in one hand and lifted both palms, open. Peace, friends. The shorter one circled wide, eyes sharp with suspicion. Bible in one hand, bag in the other. What's in the bag? Clothes. Notes. A toothbrush. Notes. For what? Tomorrow, Ebenezer said. The taller one snorted. Cryptic. Real smooth. He turned to Maria. You sure he ain't hassling you? Maria found her voice. He's not. He helped someone on the flight. He saved a man from falling. That slowed them, but not enough. The shorter one kicked the base of the steps. This ain't your block. Don't act holy here. Ebenezer studied him, not with threat but with attention that landed heavy. What's your name? Why? The youth shot back. So I can speak to you as a person, not a shadow. The boy hesitated, then muttered, Tariq. Tariq. Ebenezer said gently, you have strength. I can see it. What do you want to use it for? Fear or shelter? The taller one scoffed. Don't preach. But his voice cracked on the word. Maria finally stepped forward, palms out. He's fine. Really. See someone important. The taller one's eyes narrowed. Important how? Before anyone could answer, the Civic Center's side door opened. A security guard leaned out, flashlight beam cutting through tension. Everything all right? Tariq cursed under his breath. Come on, he told his friend. They melted back into the dark, sneakers fading down the block. Maria exhaled shakily. That could have gone bad. Could have, Ebenezer agreed, but it didn't. The guard eyed them both. Mr. Cole? Yes. They've set up early inside. Said you might come by tonight. Want me to show you? Ebenezer nodded, then glanced at Maria. Walk with us? She looked startled. I shouldn't. I'm off shift. Then you're free, he said simply. She followed. Inside, the Civic Center smelled of fresh paint and brewed coffee. Stacks of chairs leaned like tired soldiers. A wide banner read, "Health Summit, Equity for All." Volunteers taped arrows to walls and arranged folders at tables. A woman with cropped hair and a clipboard approached. "Mr. Cole, welcome. We're grateful you're here." She shook his hand firmly, then glanced at Maria. "And you are?" "Just leaving," Maria said quickly, but Ebenezer interjected. "A friend who helped me arrive." The clipboard woman smiled politely. "All help is welcome. We've reserved the small auditorium for tomorrow. Sound check at 7, program at 8. Will you need a projector?" "No," Ebenezer said. Maria frowned. "No projector? Everyone uses slides. Stories carry clearer than pictures," he said. "Truth doesn't need decoration." The woman looked satisfied. "That's what I hoped. I'll leave you to rest." She departed into the bustle. Maria turned to him. "You're speaking here? This isn't small. This is government people. Doctors, press. I've seen it on the news." "Then you'll understand why peace was worth choosing earlier," Ebenezer said. Her face burned. "You mean, with me?" He didn't answer, only adjusted the strap of his bag. She stared at him a moment longer. "I don't get you. You're calm when most people would scream. You're polite when I wasn't. And now you're standing in a place people fight to get into. Maybe tomorrow," he said, "you'll begin to get me." Later, in a modest guest room upstairs, Ebenezer set his bag on a narrow desk. Outside, the city murmured and glowed. He laid the Bible on the nightstand and opened it, not to read but to let it breathe. Then he sat on the edge of the bed and closed his eyes. Images from the day flickered. Maria's sharp tone, the elderly man gripping his arm, Tariq's wary eyes, threads of stories, knotted by time. He whispered, "Guide me to speak where ears are shut. Guide me to heal where hearts are cracked. Guide me to be steady in turbulence, on the ground and in the air." Sleep gathered him without struggle. Morning arrived in sudden gold. Outside, buses coughed awake, and shoeshiners rattled brushes along steel chairs. In the civic center, cameras rolled in on carts. Reporters rehearsed questions. Politicians rehearsed smiles. Maria woke in her apartment across town, unable to shake the image of Ebenezer's hands open in surrender, calm and unshaken. She brewed coffee, left it untouched, and found herself dressing not in uniform but in plain clothes. She whispered to her reflection, just to listen. Then she left, walking toward the place she had no duty to be, but every reason to see. By 8 o'clock the auditorium was full. Doctors in coats, officials in tailored suits, students with notebooks balanced on knees. Reporters hovered at the edges. At the front, Ebenezer stood without slides, only a map pinned to a board in his voice. The microphone caught it and made it larger, but not louder. "Good health is not numbers," he said. "It is neighbors carrying each other when turbulence comes. It is children growing without fear of tomorrow's water. It is people with strength like Tariq's choosing shelter over fear." He told of villages where one well changed every life. He told of mothers carrying supplies across floodplains. He told of hands joining, not pointing. People leaned forward, phones recorded, pens scribbled until they forgot to keep up. At the back, Maria slipped in quietly, heart hammering. She had come only to listen, but as his words rolled like steady thunder, she knew listening alone might not be enough. Applause faded. As people stood, the auditorium became a hive, handshakes, cards, questions flying at Ebenezer as if he were a doorway. Cameras edged closer. A reporter cut a line. "Mr. Cole, you've advised governments on post-flood outbreaks. Will you consult here?" "I'll listen first," he said. Renee from the mayor's office appeared with a precise smile. "Media room in 2 minutes. Then the round table. The mayor wants a quick hello." "Of course." Near the back, Maria hugged the wall. The man she had ordered around over a book now stood at the center of a widening circle. Instinct said slip away. Her feet refused. She watched him move. No rush, no ego. A vibration passed through the crowd that wasn't applause. Phones lit up. On the hallway screen, a clip looped. The plane cabin. Maria at the door, her voice clipped. "Keep the book in your hands." Caption: Flight Attendant Paulus's passenger's Bible. Heat rushed her neck. Dylan, the junior attendant, appeared, eyes huge. "Maria, it's everywhere." She straightened. "I need to speak to him," she said, pushing toward the stage. Security moved to block. Renee waved them down. Maria stopped before Ebenezer. The room threaded itself quiet. "I was unkind," she said, words unsugared. "I let stress run the cabin. I'm sorry. I'm not against scripture. I'm against chaos at altitude. I treated you like a problem, not a person." Cameras leaned closer. Ebenezer's hand stayed relaxed. "Thank you," he said. "It matters when someone chooses truth in public." A reporter pounced. "Do you accept her apology?" "Apology offered honestly is already work begun," he said. "Acceptance is mine." The rest is everyone deciding not to feed on humiliation. The feeding had already begun. A man shouted, "She should be fired." Another countered, "She kept us safe." Voices rose. Renee cut in, "We're done here. Media room, now." The hallway was louder. Maria stood in a swarm of opinions when a hand brushed her sleeve. Tariq, hoodie up, eyes sharp. "You okay?" he asked. "No," she admitted, "but I'm upright." "Good, don't run." He glanced at the clip. "They don't know what turbulence does to your head. How do you?" "Different cabins, same gravity." He slipped away. In the media room, microphones bristled. Ebenezer took the podium with the stillness of someone who knew words could bruise or lift. Questions volleyed. Budgets, disease tracking, mistrust. "How do you build trust?" a columnist asked. "When the first interaction is suspicion, you keep showing up," he said. "You outlast suspicion by refusing to mirror it." A commotion burst in the hall. A volunteer hustled in. "There's a situation outside. A protest. Airline crews defending staff, and a crowd angry about the clip. It's turning ugly." Renee's jaw set. "Police will hold a line." "Let me try words first," Ebenezer said, and stepped into the corridor. They reached the front steps. The plaza boiled with noise. Crews in navy jackets chanted, "Safety first." Opposite them, church folks, activists, and opportunists waved signs. "Let him worship, respect dignity, fire her." A thrown coffee cup burst. Maria stood halfway down the steps, pinned by anger from both sides. Dylan tried to shield her. A man shoved him. Dylan stumbled, rolled an ankle. "Stop," Maria shouted. The crowd didn't. Ebenezer stepped between the currents, palms outward. "Listen." No one did. The chant grew teeth. He lifted his voice, not louder, just deeper, threading under noise. "Listen." Tariq launched from the steps, snatched it mid-arc, and dropped it on the grass. For an instant the plaza paused. Ebenezer seized that breath. "I see crews whose hands have steadied strangers mid-air," he called. "I see people told to sit down one too many times. Today we do not cancel each other in the square. Breathe." He drew in air, slow and audible. A church elder near the front copied him. A pilot copied too. Breaths nested. The chant faltered. "Now," Ebenezer said, "move apart 6 strides and keep your hands to yourselves. If you came to swing, swing at the sky and go home. If you came to listen, hold your tongue for 10 minutes. Is this going to work?" Renee whispered. "It's working," the sergeant said. Lines widened by inches. Dylan limped up 2 steps. Maria steadied him. She faced the crews. "No one throws anything," she said. Command flown in from the cabin. "Not in that jacket." From the other side, a woman with a church fan stepped forward. "No one curses," she announced. "Not in front of my God." Laughter cracked the tension. In the opening, Ebenezer walked to the plaza floor. He found the man who had shouted to fire Maria. "Sir," he said, "you don't know her hours or her pain. You know a clip designed to set your blood on fire. Don't donate your soul to an algorithm." The man blinked. He faced the pilots. "And you do not let a uniform become a wall. Remember how it feels to be told no by someone who never learned your name." They listened, or at least they didn't shout. Police held the perimeter. The sun climbed. Reporters perched on the rail. In 12 minutes, chants softened. In 15, people dispersed, buzzing, unfinished. On the steps, Maria exhaled. Dylan sank onto a riser, wincing. Tariq nudged the bottle into a trash can and nodded to Ebenezer, receiving a nod in return. Renee checked her phone. "Mayor in 5. Roundtable moved to 10. "Good," Ebenezer said. "There's someone I need to speak to first." Maria looked up. "Me, you," he said. "And after that someone named Tariq." Tariq lifted his chin. "What for?" "For what power is for," Ebenezer answered. "To build, not break." They stepped inside, out of the sun and the residue of anger, toward a quiet room where the next decision waited like a runway just before wheels touch. The heavy doors closed softly behind them. The quiet room held a long table, a pitcher of water, and blinds that cut the morning into stripes. Renee closed the door and hurried off to wrangle the mayor. Maria sat opposite Ebenezer, fingers laced until her knuckles blanched. Tariq hovered by the wall until Ebenezer nodded toward a chair. "Thank you for coming," Ebenezer said. "We'll keep this plane." Maria swallowed. "I mishandled the cabin and I hardened the landing. I'm sorry." "Thank you," he replied. "We'll trade heat for light." He turned to Tariq. "You moved like a shield on those steps." Tariq shrugged. "Bottles turn crowds stupid." "Let's design a different reflex," Ebenezer said. "Maria, what do crews need from passengers when the air goes rough?" "Recognition," she answered. "That enforcement isn't contempt. We're tired, but duty is care." "And Tariq, what do streets need from uniforms?" Names, he said. Eye contact. Not orders before hello. Ebenezer nodded. Then here's my ask. Maria, help me write a small card every passenger gets at boarding. One side explains safety as hospitality, the other asks for grace. She blinked. Airlines don't change for strangers. You aren't one now, he said. You're a partner. He faced Tariq. Lead a monthly circle at the community center. 10 chairs, crews and neighbors. No filming. One honest story each. Tariq looked at his hands. I don't run circles. You started one when you caught that bottle, Ebenezer said. Formalize the instinct. Renee reappeared. Mr. Cole, the mayor is ready. 2 minutes and then round table. 30 seconds, he said. Maria, will you stand beside me at the microphones after the session? Not to perform regret, to model repair. Maria inhaled like a diver. Yes. Tariq, he grimaced. Cameras make me sweat. Good, Ebenezer said. You'll choose words carefully. The green room buzzed. The mayor entered with an entourage. Mr. Cole, he said, gripping hands. You cooled a plaza for me. I owe you a dinner. Trade it for a budget line. Name it. Mobile clinics in 3 districts, staffed by neighbors paid a living wage, Ebenezer said. Translate every report into the languages people dream in. We'll announce intent. A corporate representative in a silver tie spoke for the airline. We're reviewing yesterday. Our crews acted within training. Public perception is unfortunate. Public perception is the public, Ebenezer answered. Fix training language so authority never arrives as contempt. Pilot 3 routes. Add the boarding card. The round table gathered a mosaic. Nurses, pilots, union stewards, pastors, a grandmother who ran a soup line under the freeway. Ebenezer opened. Trust is a seatbelt, he said. You put it on before the sky shakes. If you wait, damage doubles. The grandmother spoke first. You can't serve people you won't look at. Put your phone down and hold a hand. A pilot added. We want to land every soul we lift. That starts before boarding. Near the end, Maria rose. I forgot a first principle. Compassion before compliance, she said. I'll help rewrite our pre-flight so it invites dignity, not fear. Tariq cleared his throat. Next Thursday, 10 chairs, he said. Anyone can sit if they can hush long enough to hear somebody else. Agreements took shape. Outside, cameras assembled. Ebenezer stepped to the microphones with Maria and Tariq flanking him. Renee behind, Dylan on crutches, Marcus in the crowd. Good afternoon, Ebenezer began. We have no enemies here, only neighbors learning. He told one short story. A bin steadied before it fell, a bottle caught before it broke, a city eased before it bruised deeper. Then he stepped aside. Maria faced the lenses that sliced her into a caption. Yesterday I chose control over kindness, she said. Today I'm choosing repair. I'll return to work with new words and new ears. She looked to Tariq. He glanced at the concrete, then up. Sometimes we hate the uniform because we think it hates us, he said. But a uniform is cloth. People wear it. Thursday, 10 chairs. Come sit. Renee announced the clinic plan and translation mandate. The airline pledged training changes and the passenger card. The mayor promised floor time for funding. Marcus raised a hand. Question for Mr. Cole. Are you a pastor? Heads tilted. Ebenezer smiled. I shepherd people, he said. Sometimes in tents by rivers. Sometimes under roofs that leak. Sometimes between 2 crowds on city steps. If your word for that is pastor, I accept it. But the title isn't the point. The work is. A reporter pressed. You advise heads of state and disaster coalitions. You hold global influence. Why keep it quiet? An engine runs better when you oil it, not praise it, he said. If the plane lands, you thank the pilot, the mechanic, and the weather. You don't clap for the fuel. Evening bent the day toward calm. At the community center, a sign read 10 chairs Thursday. A janitor added 2 more, because humans hope. In the airline break room, Maria drafted the card. Dylan, foot iced, said, say welcome before warning. She wrote it. Renee sent a memo, and the mayor read it. Ebenezer walked to the park where the bench remembered last night's shivers. The same dog trotted up, tail windmilling. He scratched its head. Steady, he said. Footsteps approached. Maria and Tariq stood a pace off, uncertain. We're headed to write the card, Maria said. Will you read the draft? And the circle, Tariq added. You'll sit with us first night? Yes, Ebenezer said. I'll bring ginger ale. They laughed. Leaves traded secrets overhead. Tomorrow will test us again, he said. That's what tomorrows do. Then we'll keep showing up, Maria answered, all together. And we'll keep seeing, Tariq added. They walked toward the center, shadows lengthening, carrying a card not printed, a circle not yet formed, and a city learning how to land without breaking what makes it worth flying.